fault." The gasp from the pianist, whoever it was, said his suspicions were correct. His presence had been undetected. He turned to see a young woman across the room. Her back was to him, but based on her uniform, she worked in one of the industrial kitchens. "Turn around." She did, but didn't raise her head. A few steps brought him closer to her. "Do you know who I am?" "Yes, sir." She dropped into a deep curtsy. "My apologies for disturbing your time, sir." "Do you have permission to play in here?" He already knew the answer. No one did outside of rare special events. "No, sir." "Is this the first time?" Her hesitation told him the answer before her word. "No." "You work in the kitchen?" "Yes, sir." Something about her drew him closer, and he took a step into her personal space. "Look at me," he commanded. She finally raised her chin and met his gaze. Her eyes, the color of chocolate, were guarded. "What's your name?" "Katrin." "Do you know where my office is, Katrin?" Her face tilted downward. "Yes, sir." Her voice sounded resigned. "To what?" Crooking his finger under her chin, he tipped her face back up. "I have some business to take care of. Be waiting for me when I return, and we'll forget this ever happened." Before she could say anything, he kissed her, his hand sliding around to the back of her neck as his other arm slipped around her waist. Her hands clutched his jacket, holding him to her as much as he held her to him. He'd long been told that as king he could request this kind of thing from his female staff members and expect their acquiescence, but he'd never availed himself of it before. Something about this girl drew him, though, differently than anyone before. Benjamin pulled her more tightly against him before letting his lips leave hers, brushing kisses lightly along her jawline toward her ear. "Come to my office in an hour. We'll forget all about this." He felt her fingers tighten on the sides of his jacket. Unsure what it meant, he loosened his hold. "No." "Pardon?" She pushed him away. "My terms of indenture do not extend to that." Benjamin straightened his jacket. "Then I will have to speak with Mr. Bond and see that your services are terminated." The look in her eyes changed to icy flames as she laughed, dousing any attraction he might have felt. "I'm afraid not. Short of attempting to kill your royal self, I cannot be terminated for at least a decade." He crossed his arms over his chest as his eyes narrowed. "Why is that?" "My family owes yours a debt. My services fulfill our end of the deal until the debt is paid." She spun on her heel. "But I don't have to acquiesce to those kinds of demands." He watched her leave, then went to Mr. Bond's office. The head of kitchen staff confirmed what the girl said. "Demote her as far as you can," Benjamin ordered. "I cannot, sir. I would, but she's already the lowest member of my staff, likely the lowest member of all staff in the palace. The only way she could not be would be someone else with an indenture greater than hers." "And a transfer somewhere else, the stables, mucking out stalls. Even he'd done that a time or two when he'd gotten in trouble before he became king. A promotion, caring for the royal horses, is an honor." It irritated Benjamin, but it didn't appear he could do anything about it. He left the kitchen offices and went to the executive wing. Though he'd spent the evening at the Mavendian Founders' Ball, he did have work to do, especially to make sure Isaiah didn't have access to anything he shouldn't. It was not the time to dwell on the embers long stoked, but fanned by that kiss. His ability to compartmentalize was learned, but necessary. It would be more difficult than ever. Time to work. Katrin sank against the door of her room as she locked it behind her. She'd seen the king from a distance before, but had never actually spoken with him. Certainly she'd never kissed him, or turned down his advances. She'd never heard of anyone else who had. If she thought long enough, she'd never heard stories of other female members of the staff being summoned to his office for anything other than actual business, and that rarely enough. But Katrin was mostly an outcast, even among the lowest of the kitchen staff. Seldom did anyone speak to her when they didn't have to. She didn't have much experience, but that kiss told her he clearly had more, or he was really good at faking confidence at something as intimate as kissing.